The date was September 12th, 2025. This was a day that will forever be etched in history. It was the day the dam of secrecy finally began to crack. Inside the hallowed halls of Congress, a hearing convened. But this was no ordinary political theater. This was a reckoning. The House Oversight Committee gathered to hear testimony on a subject long relegated to the shadows: unidentified anomalous phenomena, restoring public trust through UAP transparency and whistleblower protection. It promised revelations and delivered far more than anyone anticipated, sending shockwaves through the Pentagon. What unfolded was a parade of decorated military veterans, seasoned investigators, each with a story more incredible than the last. They were not fringe conspiracy theorists. They were the very people entrusted to protect the nation, men who had dedicated their lives to service. Now they were risking everything to speak out. They spoke of encounters that defied all known laws of physics. They described technologies so far beyond our own they seemed almost magical. The air in the room was thick with awe, disbelief, and historical gravity as the world watched, captivated. The session was more than stunning anecdotes. It was a direct challenge to decades of denial. For over 75 years, the official stance has been ridicule and silence. But these witnesses painted a startlingly different picture. They spoke of a hidden reality, where our skies host objects that outmaneuver our most advanced jets and withstand our most powerful weapons. Their testimony wasn't just about what they saw. It was a powerful indictment of a system that buries truth and punishes truth-tellers. This hearing was a seismic event, a pivotal moment. It signaled a paradigm shift, moving UAPs from science fiction into national security. The stories told, the videos shown, and the pleas made were not just for the record. They were a message to the world. We are not alone, and the time for secrecy is over. The world has a right to know what's in our skies, and this hearing was the first step toward reclaiming that right. At the heart of this historic hearing stood the witnesses, brave souls who stepped from the shadows. These were highly credible individuals with decades of distinguished military service. Air Force veteran Jeffrey Nuccitelli and active-duty Navy Senior Chief Alexandro Wiggins. These men were the bedrock of the hearing's credibility. Jeffrey Nuccitelli's testimony began with chilling events at Vandenberg Air Force Base between 2003 and 2005. This was a period of high-stakes NRO launches. Nuccitelli described massive objects that appeared like flying buildings. These were not small, distant lights. These were colossal structures that approached the base, moved in unnatural ways, and pulsed with otherworldly light. One disturbing incident occurred in October 2003. Boeing contractors working near missile defense sites suddenly saw a massive glowing red square hovering silently above them. Imagine the scene, a perfect geometric shape, glowing with intense red light, hanging motionless over a top-secret installation. It made no sound. It had no visible means of propulsion. Later that evening, guards spotted a bright object over the ocean heading toward the base. Nuccitelli recounted the frantic radio chatter. Chaos ensued over the radio as the object approached rapidly. Professional calm shattered, replaced by raw fear. The object was not just observing, it was aggressive. The climax was captured in terrified screams over the radio. "It's coming right at us, it's coming right for us, and now it's right here." Those words conveyed terror no formal report could capture. Senior Chief Wiggins detailed an astonishing 2023 incident aboard the USS Jackson. He described a self-luminous tic-tac-shaped object emerging directly from the ocean. This points to transmedium capability far beyond our technology. After breaking the surface, it linked up with 3 other similar objects. The objects moved in coordinated fashion, under intelligent control. No wings, no rotors, no visible propulsion systems, yet they could hover, accelerate to hypersonic speeds, and perform impossible turns. The most explosive moment came when Representative Burleson played never-before-seen footage. The video was allegedly captured by an MQ-9 Reaper drone dated October 30th, 2024, less than a year ago. It depicted a bright, shiny, spherical object being tracked by the drone's targeting system off the coast of Yemen. The video showed the drone launching an AGM-114 Hellfire missile, perfectly tracking its target. The tension was palpable as everyone anticipated a fiery explosion. But there was no explosion. In a moment, defying all physics, the Hellfire missile simply struck the object and bounced off. The reactions from the panel were immediate and profound. When asked if they were scared, these combat-trained veterans admitted their fear. "If our best weapons are useless, we have no way to defend ourselves."
That's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and it just bounced right off.
My own journey into this mystery wasn't driven by strange lights in the sky. It was driven by something far more concrete: the paper trail. Veteran journalist George Knapp testified about his decades of investigation. "What got me hooked is the paper trail," he explained. Documents from our own military and intelligence agencies. Detailed reports from pilots, radar operators, intelligence officers. The documents, behind closed doors, admit these things are real. They're not fictitious. These papers describe objects moving at impossible speeds, executing maneuvers that defy physics, displaying technologies generations ahead of our own. The government knew. They chose to hide that reality from the American people. The sheer volume is staggering. Thousands of pages of reports, analyses, internal communications. These documents reveal deep, long-standing concern within the highest levels of defense and intelligence. They show serious people taking this phenomenon very seriously, all while official spokespeople told the public it was weather balloons and swamp gas. This systematic deception is a betrayal of public trust. The most insidious aspect of government secrecy is not just withholding information, but actively punishing those who speak out. Jeffrey Nuccitelli spoke powerfully about this culture of fear. "Transparency is the foundation of truth," he pleaded to lawmakers. He warned countless others have seen things but remain silent out of fear for their careers, reputations, and the safety of their families. Another whistleblower testified his career was deliberately obstructed and he faced sustained reprisals for more than a decade. This is systematic, long-term harassment by the government he served. This reprisal system is the lock keeping truth sealed. It creates a vicious cycle. Stigma prevents reporting. Government claims there's nothing to report, which reinforces the stigma. The hearing assaulted that cycle. Nuccitelli's final plea: protect the witnesses, protect them, and others will be emboldened. Without protection, the flow remains a trickle, and the full UAP reality stays hidden behind fear and intimidation. Leading the charge against entrenched secrecy was Chairwoman Anna Paulina Luna. Her statements were not procedural formalities. They were a declaration of war against the status quo. For too long, UAPs have been shrouded in secrecy, stigma, and outright dismissal. She recounted investigating UAP cover-ups at Eglin Air Force Base with other representatives, only to meet stonewalling and obstruction. Military pilots don't come forward publicly out of fear it would cost them their flight status and careers. That is unacceptable. We cannot protect our airspace if our best observers are silenced. Her conclusion was a powerful call to action. She championed robust legislation for ironclad whistleblower protections, a promise to end career retaliation and replace fear with transparency. The September 2025 hearing was more than shocking testimonies. It was a watershed moment in the struggle for UAP transparency. It represented a fundamental shift, moving the topic from the fringes to center stage of Congress. The witnesses' credibility, the undeniable video evidence, and passionate advocacy from lawmakers combined to create unstoppable momentum. The central message was clear. The days of automatic denial are over. The truth, long hidden in shadows, is stepping into the light, demanding to be seen. The call for robust whistleblower protection became the hearing's most urgent outcome. Testimony laid bare the systematic rot that enforced silence for decades. Lawmakers grasped the simple logic. If you want the truth, you must protect the truth-tellers. New legislation isn't just justice, it's about opening the floodgates. An invitation for hundreds, perhaps thousands of insiders to come forward without fear. This hearing asserted the public's right to know. For over 75 years, a small unelected group decided the public couldn't handle the truth. They appointed themselves gatekeepers of a reality deemed too disruptive. This hearing challenged that paternalistic arrogance head-on. Questions were raised about transmedium craft, flying buildings, invincible orbs. Not just military questions, but questions for all humanity. What are these objects? Where do they come from? What do they want? These are not classified secrets. They are fundamental mysteries that belong to everyone. Ultimately, the hearing lit a fire that cannot be easily extinguished. It emboldened witnesses, educated the public, and put the national security establishment on notice. Disclosure is no longer fringe. It's a mainstream political imperative. The path forward will not be easy. Institutions that held secrets won't give them up willingly. But the wall of secrecy has been irrevocably cracked. A new dawn of disclosure is upon us, bringing hope we may finally get answers to the most profound questions we face. Are we alone in the universe? Are we being visited by advanced civilizations? What does our government really know? Are we in possession of technology not of this world? The September 2025 hearing marked the beginning of a new era, one where these questions are no longer taboo, where serious scientific investigation can finally begin, where government transparency is demanded and delivered. The hearing was just the beginning. The real work starts now. Congress must pass comprehensive whistleblower protection legislation. The Pentagon and intelligence agencies must embrace transparency. The scientific community must engage without stigma. The media must report with seriousness and accuracy, and the public must maintain pressure for full disclosure. This is not just an American issue. It's a global phenomenon requiring international cooperation. Future historians may mark this hearing as the moment humanity finally began to confront its greatest mystery. We owe a debt of gratitude to the brave witnesses who risked everything to tell their truth. Their courage has opened the door, but the fight for full transparency continues. A new generation demands answers their parents were denied. The implications extend far beyond national security. We may be on the verge of technological and scientific revolutions. Perhaps most importantly, confronting the reality of UAPs may unite humanity in ways we never imagined. The truth is out there, and for the first time in 75 years, we have a real chance to find it. The question is, are we brave enough to handle what we discover?